Okay? For what? Go quickly. Okay? All right. You have that one page that says problem 1 on it. On the back is empty. Write these 3 things down. On the back of the page that says problem 1, write these 3 things down. A system of linear inequalities is made up of 2 or more linear inequalities. Just like a system of equations last week had 2 or more equations, a system of inequalities has 2 or more inequalities. A solution is an ordered pair that makes all the inequalities in the system true. Unlike a system of equations where it had one point that was true for both, that was the intersection point, this is going to have multiple points that are true. We represent the solutions with a graph. And the graph is the set of all points that represent all of the solutions of the system. We want to find the graph of the system of equations. So we're going to do what we did last week. We're going to graph both these on the same plane, and we're going to shade the region that satisfies both the equations. So, as we take a look at y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 1, let's ask this question. How are you going to graph this, Ms. Carpenter?
Put it on a -1.
Put it on -1. I like it.
2/1.
Correct. Remember, we always begin on the y-axis, which is the vertical. So starting at -1, from there going up 2 and 1 to the right, getting the next point on the graph. Kelsey, my final question. Should I make this a solid or a dashed line?
Solid.
Correct. Because it has the equal to line, underneath the inequality symbol, we make a solid line, which means every point on the line counts. Now, before we start shading it to mess it all up, we have to put a second inequality on here. So don't shade anything yet. Instead, let's take a look at the graph of x plus y is less than 2. TJ, how would we put this in slope-intercept form? TJ, do you remember what slope-intercept form is? Wesley, can you help him out?
I don't know how to explain it, but I think I know how to do it.
What would you do?
Minus x.
Correct. You would subtract the x over, getting y by itself. Remember, these are not like terms because x is an x and 2 is not. So we can't add or subtract them together. Okay. But let me ask this question. Casey, what's in front of that x? Negative what?
1.
Correct. How do we make it a fraction? Agreed. Olivia, how do I graph -1x plus 2?
Put the dot on 2 and down 1, then to the right 1.
Correct. Put the dot on 2 and go down 1 to the right 1. As I draw these, Brett, solid or dash for this one? Correct.
That was a complete guess, but
Well, you were correct on the complete guess because you want to make sure that there's no, since there's not a line underneath the inequality symbol, it is a dashed line. Okay, bear with me so far. Now, last week when they were equations, you would tell me they cross at 1, 1. Today, since they're inequalities, we're going to shade. But I don't want to shade in the whole graph yet because if you guys notice, this breaks this into 4 parts. Can you see the 4 parts? We want to shade in the part that satisfies both inequalities. So what point did we always test with last week? Kyle? What point do we plug in for x and y to see which side to shade on?
0.
Yeah. So let's do 0, 0. 0 is less than -1 times 0 plus 2. Guys, what's -1 times 0?
0.
What's 0 plus 2?
2.
Is 0 less than 2? So the red line, I don't want you to color it in yet. My trick, I put little arrows. we're going to shade to this side of the red line. Why? Because that's the side of the line that 0, 0 is on, and 0, 0 made it true. Yes, Mr. Seacrest.
Do you want us putting points on the part where it's both shaded in from both like sides, both lines?
I just want the graph.
Alright, because Miss Lister made it be points and stuff.
I just want the graph is all I'm after. Okay? But if you put points, you're not wrong, so don't go back and fix it. Okay? All right, let's test the blue. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 times 0 is?
Is 0.
0 minus 1 is?
-1.
Is 0 greater than -1?
Yes.
So therefore, we're going to shade the blue line on the side that 0, 0 is for that line. So here's the line. Here's 0, 0 that made it true. So we're going to shade it this way. Guys, A, B, C, or D, which one has both red and blue arrows in it? Olivia, you say?
C.
And you're right. We're going to shade in C because it's the region that satisfies both the red dashed line and the blue solid line. I don't want to come up here because while up here in B is true for the blue, it's not true for the red. D is true for the red, but not true for the blue. A isn't true for anything. Okay, so it's one region. Any point that's here in purple is a solution. Let's do our second example. Y is greater than 3x minus 2. Kevin, how do we graph that?
Put your point on -2.
Yes, sir.
And go up to the over 1.
Correct. I just have one final question for you.
Yeah,
Solid or dashed?
solid.
Try again. It's the top inequality. Does it have the equal to line?
No.
So it makes it a dashed. Okay. So here's y is greater than 3x minus 2. Mr. McKinney was absolutely correct. Starts at -2, goes 3 up, 1 to the right, 3 up, 1 to the right. And it's a dashed line because it doesn't have the equal to line. Now, let's see if you remember this from last week. Can anybody tell me what the x-intercept of this line would be for 2y minus x is less than or equal to 6? Stephen?
3, 0.
3, 0. That would be great, but that would be the y-intercept. Ashley's right. One of our intercepts will be 0, 3. So we take 6 divided by 2 because that's the coefficient of y. It's kind of written backwards on what we're used to seeing. Okay? Who's got the x-intercept? Cassidy?
I don't think so.
What's in front of x?
-1.
Right, so what's 6 divided by -1?
-6.
I do believe you know how to find the x-intercept. Because you're right. Remember, to find the intercepts when it looks like this. If it looks like this, just graph the slope, because the y is by itself. When it looks like this, you can just find the two intercepts. So we're going to go to -6, 0. That's over here. And we're going to go to 0, 3. Solid or dashed on my line? Who's solid? Who's confused?
Me,
Okay. Where I got you confused at?
the red one,
Okay. I'm with you.
like, shouldn't you add x to the other side,
You could.
and then put, divide 2, y by 2, and then x by 2, and 6 by 2, you get y, it's simple thing.
Mhm.
X over 2.
Yes.
Then how do you get the thing down there?
Okay. Well, it's the same line. We just did it in two different ways. Wesley, this is absolutely perfect, and this is exactly what you can do. Okay. What I did, what I think is faster, if it's like this, just find the two intercepts. So all you have to do to find the y-intercept, we take 6 divided by what's in front of y. So that means we're going to cross the y-axis at 3, because 6 divided by 2 is 3. Notice that's also your intercept here. To find the x-intercept, we take 6 divided by what's in front of x. 6 divided by -1, we cross the x at -6. So it's the same thing, just done 2 different ways. But if this makes you most comfortable, do it this way.
But, that's how I was wanting to do it, but could you go up one and like, or up two or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and, get the right answer?
Yep. So from here you go up 1 and over 2, up 1 and over 2. Mine's just off. Okay. Good questions, guys. You can do exactly what you're saying, and yes, you would do this exactly the same way. You can also do it with the intercepts. But if you're the type that you really like slope-intercept, go slope-intercept every time. See, that's the wonderful thing about mathematics. We can do it multiple ways. Okay. Let's test out our origin.
Yeah, razor dry.
What's this?
From over, I don't know what it's for, they just had it out there.
Okay. Yes, we do. So in red, we'll put 0 and 0 in. Guys, is 0 less than or equal to 6? It is less than, so we're going to go below the red line down here, because here's 0, 0. It's on this side of the red line, and 0, 0 makes it true. Let me change my colors up here. Let's check the other one. What's 3 times 0 minus 2? Is that true? Is 0 greater than -2? So the blue line's going to come this way. Because here's 0, 0. So you're talking about this little region right in here. And you're done. If you forget the shade on tonight's homework, yes. And if you forget that, like on the quiz or test coming up, I'll take off 1 point. Like, for example,